Are we in Missouri? This is the state of Missouri. Okay, this is Missouri. The whole team is here. Just check this out, by the way. Detailed. We're gonna go through this Roaring River dive plan. Every day has a plan.
I'm gonna go with the Missouri omelet.
I grew up here.
But it's no hash browns,
Pretty cool.
no
We're
toast.
collecting specimens.
But if you could just include maybe a few tomatoes on the side.
We're going through some tight restriction at like 220 feet, and should be awesome.
And here we go, dive one.
Yes. So, you know, the purpose of dive one, the overall purpose of this first one was to actually, for me, go through the restriction. To see if I could go through the restriction, which is at about 230 feet.
Yeah.
Because on the other side of the restriction, Gus, that's where we're going to start cave exploration, laying new line, which I've never done before. Mm-hmm. And I obviously never went through this restriction. So, but watch what happens, because something really unusual feeling happened, and I thought at the beginning the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And I'll explain it when we get to it.
We're going to get to it. So in this one, you guys are going down. You're descending towards the restriction. I want people to get an idea of the visibility inside this cave. And by the way, the camera always picks up way more than your eyes. Like when I'm there, I'm like, I don't see anything. And then I watch the camera footage, and I'm like, whoa, that's cool. I didn't see any of this stuff. But some of you will notice one thing, which is I'm not in this party. I'm not going down. I actually missed dive number one. And the reason for that was that one of my regulators was leaking, was bubbling. And one of the rules that we use for rebreather diving, which I think it should be used for regular open circuit diving too, is we never start a dive with a known issue. Right?
That was really, really difficult to watch you not do the dive, but you were very matter of fact and said, I'm not doing the dive.
Yeah, some days it happens to someone else. It's happened to you.
It's happened to me in a bad situation,
worst
right?
place,
but,
yeah.
So have a look here. So number one, Gus, you're right.
Randall goes in first.
Randall goes in first. I did not take my eyes off of the line.
Right.
Because of what you just said. Now, one other thing I want to mention. Mike had a camera on me with lights, and Randall had a camera on me with, like, the sun.
You're like...
So... if I turn to look at Mike, I'm blind. If I turn to look at Randall, I'm blind, and there's not great visibility.
I guess we'll do this live. Okay, I wanted to show this because one thing that people will notice, Randall, who's the cameraman, the main cameraman for the expedition, he took the time to get set up. You can hear him adding air, like adding everything. Okay, I'm ready. And then he calls you to come through. And the camera starts beeping, and this will come back.
Well, yes, but
here you go.
Okay, so look at this. So at first I go through, I attempt to go through, and I'm confused.
Wait, what? Why can I not move?
Yes, so let me explain what I thought was going on. Hold on. Actually, on this one, okay. Well, hold on, not pause it yet. All right, so look, that's just the video of me going through. But let me tell you what really happened. When I first got there, and it's, by the way, this restriction is vertical straight down.
Yeah.
It's not like this. It's more like this.
Yeah.
So I get to it, and you can forget about frog kicking at that point, by the way. You need to kick and pull.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, I haven't felt any flow anywhere in the cave, right? So I'm like, well, there's no flow, and I'm going back up. So the first attempt, I'm like, wait, Mike, wait. And I go back vertical like this to dump my dry suit.
Yeah.
I think I'm dumping my dry suit, and I'm like, that's weird. I felt like my dry suit must have had air in it. It was not. I didn't have any excess air in my dry suit.
It was the flow.
The flow just coming through the restriction kicks right there at that spot. And then on the other side of it, no more flow again. Before it, no flow. And we're not used to that. You know, in our flow, it's pretty much flow the whole time.
Always, yeah.
But only in that spot was the flow, so it confused me. Does that make sense?
And that's because the cave is humongous.
Yes.
On the other side of the restriction. This restriction pretty deep, though. Beyond 60 meters, 220 feet.
Yes.
Right? So the cave is humongous on the other side, and then it goes into like this like really, really small
Yes.
restriction. So all of the water goes in through it. And that's why the cave was big on one side, cave is big on the other side.
Exactly.
They're connected by this tiny thing. So there's flow.
And
right?
that was what confused me on the first one. The other thing I wanted to tell you is you see the size of that hole? The first time I went through, say, please don't fall down on me and collapse.
Yeah.
Now, if it did collapse.
Like a guillotine.
I was telling you about this. Let's say it collapsed. You've got Randall on the other side of the restriction. There's one way to get back out, and it's only through this
that hole,
restriction. You had Mike on this side, Randall on that side, and I'm going through the middle. Now, Randall and Mike told me on the other side that drops to a depth that nobody knows. Mike's
They still
exploring
haven't found it.
500, 600, whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a place to ascend and get into a pretty big dome, an air bubble dome.
Yeah.
That they could, if it collapsed, go up, think, come up with a plan, maybe try to dig out.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, though, when I was the first time I went through it.
Oh, you didn't know that?
So
Okay.
my mind, between the weird all of a sudden flow and are you going to fall down on me, I was thinking about that here. I have to tell everybody that. But no problem to get through it.
Yeah, and we do get these questions all the time. It's like, what if the cave collapses on you? Like, people are, we have safety measures, obviously, when we're cave diving. We have redundancy, everything. We have lines, guidelines to guide us even in zero visibility. But there's always people that ask, well, what happens if the whole cave collapses on you? Then you die. Like, there's a risk to it as well. You have to be cool with the fact that, which doesn't happen. I mean, this restriction has been here through earthquakes and tornadoes and like all kinds of stuff over thousands of years. But it could collapse in a weird, situation. And if that's the case, you try to get out. And if you can't get out, you die. I mean, we're cool with that. We're cool with that fact. It is what it is.
It's a matter of fact. I mean,
Yeah.
Gus is saying it right. Like, listen, for people to say, well, you guys act like cave diving isn't risky. No, we don't do that. Like we understand that it is extremely risky, but also, and we won't discuss it now. I have never seen a team developed around the promotion of making sure that we were safe.
Yeah.
The entire team's purpose was to allow the three of us to get to this depth and explore.
And then out.
So
Yeah,
there's
safely.
unbelievable, high technical,
Safety,
highly experienced cave divers building safety up all the way through. I mean, there's
Yeah.
tanks going at every depth and so forth and so on. So
Yeah, but it's like
risk.
riding. It's like riding a car. Like we all know there's accidents and people die in car accidents all the time, but it's relatively safe. When I'm leaving my house in a car, I'm not thinking I'm gonna, crash and die. But if you stack things, if you're like, what if you're doing 70 miles an hour and your brakes fail and you crash into a fiery volcano? Well, then you die. Like there's gotta be a point where you're like, it's safe, but it's not 100% safe, just like cave diving. All right. So let's keep going. So this is you. You're going through a restriction. It's a cool 2-angle shot. So this is from Mike's angle.
And you see, I'm kicking. There's
Going
no.
through. Mike's celebrating. Now
was
you come
happy.
on the other side. Randall is filming.
Oh, that's awesome! I haven't seen this angle.
Yeah,
yet.
you haven't seen these the angles, the footage, any of it. This is all new to you.
And you just pull through.
Yeah.
It's pretty tight there, and right
Yeah,
at that spot, you're at about 230.
You're like, go that way. Randall is
Yeah,
go
he
that
just
way.
said move over so I could make room for Mike coming through.
Yep. So the next diver is actually Mike Henry, who is my dive buddy. We were supposed to be together, and we were supposed to be safety divers, deep safety divers.
okay.
Yeah. So Mike Henry, I told him, it's like, you go, because he hadn't made it through a restriction either. I'm like, Mike, you go, I'll stay. I cannot dive, but I'm not going to stop you.
Gotcha.
Like, just go.
So he just wanted to try the restriction?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So what you're going to see is Mike Henry, not Mike Young, going through this restriction as well.
Who's filming him?
Mike Young.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So this is, once again, double angle on Mike Henry as well.
Cool.
Great diver, by the way. Look. he just
Nice.
went through.
Actually, he pulled up more than I did. He didn't have to kick as much.
He went through on an angle, and there he comes out. Good stuff.
Yes.
And then, the goal was for him to go through the restriction, kind of check that box. So he just turned around, helicopter turn here, and went back out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see all that silt, it blows away pretty quickly down there. Once you're on the other side of it, that didn't hang out long.
It's like, I'm okay. And now he's heading back out. Also diving the Kiss Sidewinder.
Now, for some reason, by the way, going back through it is easier.
Oh, really?
I don't know
the
if it's
flow
the
is pushing
angle
you.
and the flow.
Flow
Yeah.
is pushing you, yeah.
There he
So
goes,
here it goes.
wedging back up.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Isn't that awesome? Look at how awesome. I want to do it again, man. It's so much
Now,
fun.
I want you to pay attention. We're going to be quiet for a few seconds so you can hear this beep. You hear that beep going. That is Randall's camera telling him something is up. Now, Randall is kind of ignoring this at this point. He's like, this stupid thing is just beeping. Who
Well,
cares?
here's Mike.
And there's Mike.
Mike's
squeezing
shoving
it.
a tank through, by the way,
With
along
that
with him.
aluminum 80, yeah. Along with going through.
Along with him.
Like
It's
we
no
all,
problem.
Everyone struggles by themselves. He's with a tank. It's like, whoop,
It's like, hello.
going through.
And the thing about Mike, when you're doing this with him, he's so positive.
Yeah.
It's really fun to dive with him.
He
I
dropped
just
his
sat
light
there.
on this one. He just noticed, like, oh, my light fell off. But one of the things you're about to notice is Randall finally pays attention to the beeping and realizes that the beeping is the alarm telling him some expletive. Mike! Guys! Up. I'm out.
Okay, I'm going to comment in a second, but let it play. 'Cause
Yeah.
I want to tell you what was in our minds.
Yep, but let me just say what was happening. You guys didn't know this. But what's happening is he has a very, very expensive rig, right? Like I was talking to him, his camera is a Sony A1, which by itself, just the body with no lens, no nothing, is like $7,500. Just the body of the camera. Yeah. So he has this very, very expensive setup, and he finally pays attention to the beeping, and the beeping is saying there's water inside the casing, inside the housing. So he freaked out.
Okay.
But you guys didn't know this.
Okay, so I'll pause it here for a second.
Well, we can talk. He's ascending.
Okay, so let me
just
tell
wanted-
you- let me tell
I
you
wanted
what-
to leave it so people understand what you experience as you're ascending.
So is all Mike and I saw was, hey, I'm out. Like, okay, you don't question it.
Yeah,
He's
we're
out. Mike's like, grab the line, Woody, which without hesitation,
Bang.
he's the boss. I grabbed the line. You don't argue. Gone.
yeah.
And we went out. I thought, we both thought he's got a serious emergency to call the
To
dive.
bail out like that, yeah.
No idea it was a camera. I mean, there's no way I would
Yeah,
know
you-
it's a camera. We just knew he's got a problem, and Mike's like, go. And we went.
Yeah. Now he is ascending on the line. Now I caught this because he was ascending from 220 feet, so I wasn't gonna leave the whole thing. It would take like 20 minutes to go up. But you can see the line sneaks in once in a while. So don't feel like because you don't see it, he's not in it. The line's right there on the right hand side.
We didn't let go of it
No,
because
no.
we had no
There's no
visibility on the
visibility.
way up.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of divers in there now, all the team in and out of there. I saw nothing, but once we finally bumped into Randall,
Right.
I was like, oh my.
But
Dude,
the other
are
thing
you
the other thing I wanted to mention is that even though the camera is super expensive and it's his baby, you can see that he's methodical, calm, going up little by little. He's not rushing to get out just because he's about to lose $10,000+ worth of.
I mean, there are stops. I think we had one at 170 feet.
I love it because at some point he runs into the safety diver. Oh, this is cool. So you can see there's tanks staged all over the cave.
See, that's the one. I think that's the 170 one.
Yep.
I believe.
70.
it is.
Yep, he's about to run through the restriction at 160. But you can see the line kind of on the right-hand side. Very faint. Visibility is not great, but his right hand is on that line.
Yeah, there's no letting go of the line here at this point.
He finally runs into Greg, safety diver. Let's listen.
Look at the team, man, that we had.
Take this out. Take it out.
It said take it up.
Take it up. Take it up. Go, 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 go.
Oh, there's the red light on the camera. Okay. Yeah. So that thing was indicating that it was flooding. Isn't that right? Those cases, if it's a red light, it means there's a water breach.
It's probably a water detector, yeah.
He's upset about the camera. Bummer.
Yeah. Now you guys eventually came up, and you came up into this cool air pocket.
It was really
This
neat.
dome.
We're at 4 feet deep in air.
So this is deep inside this mountain. This cave goes into a mountain, and woody surface in this dome, and you can see the
beautiful.
stalactites. Yeah. All the
Wait,
formations.
can you hear? No,
really.
I remember. Okay, I was trying.
But anyway, so the cool thing about this is that even though you're on the surface, your computer says you're at 4 feet deep.
Yes.
So like 1.2 meters or whatever deep, which is kind of odd. And here's our cameraman.
So that was after all of our deco, being in the habitat. He just was like, I want to show you something. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. And it was really nice.
So I actually saw this because, one of my regulators was, as I mentioned, leaking, but I still had another tank. And because this is shallow, I actually dove. My whole day wasn't wasted completely.
Oh, good.
I got to go in here and check it out.
Cool.
So it was like a 15-minute dive. It was very short.
I was just enjoying this room.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Stalactites like forming right in front of your face. You can see the drips on them.
Yeah.
We were happy. I was
Look at that
happy
bromance.
I was happy to be with Mike. I was just so happy after doing that restriction.
Yeah, that was cool. Now, my favorite part of this whole dive is coming up, which I missed in person, which is the exit.
Oh, really? That's coming up?
I mean, I had to leave it. It's an intricate part
Alright.
of this video. Okay, so Woody and Mike are trying to exit, and there's like a metal grate or something in there. So the idea is you go over it, and Mike gave him instructions, and then you just slide and go into the rest of the river. So here Woody goes, and what? Dude, you're drowning. What is?
Oh my goodness.
He's good.
He made it. He made it, everybody. Oh my
Okay.
God.
All right. Can I explain? Do I have a right to explain?
What was that? Yes.
All right, let me explain. Look, it's a little embarrassing, but let me explain. I had on my right waist harness, so it's a little bit on my waist, a little bit on my leg, the heated garment battery that comes from Santee. The thing is gigantic. It's way bigger than our Orca-Torch Lite battery.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I
that was the
remember it.
only place to put it. It's like having a side mount extra tank there, right?
Yeah, like an aluminum 13.
So when I went
tank.
over the waterfall, which I wish would have been like Mike, I'm going over. I'm coming up to it. The battery got caught. It got wedged on that ridge right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, what the heck is... And finally I realized the battery is caught. I lift the battery up. And then I go over. Now, can I didn't tell you something else.
What? You destroy your dry suit. No, because you dove the next day.
All right. This is going to be hard for me to tell you.
Okay.
The whole 12-hour drive home, I'm actually in some pain from that moment. And I didn't tell you.
Where? Like on
All right.
your waist or whatever?
If you back it up, you're going to, which don't do it yet,
Okay.
you're going to notice it's not that I just stopped short.
Yeah.
I want you to watch my head.
Like you slammed into something?
Imagine your head with your teeth. There's some like ridge metal wood thing there.
Oof.
I go bonk on my front teeth. Dude, they were loose. So as I'm now continuing along with Mike, I'm like, I don't know if my teeth are going to fall out. I didn't tell Mike. I'm just going down to the exit going, oh my God. I think I just about knocked out. Imagine if I come out and I had no teeth right there.
Man.
So the whole drive home, I'm like, okay, they're hanging in. I'm thinking the root's going to go black and blue and all that. Now watch it and watch my head. And that's what hit was my butt.
we would have gone viral if you lost your teeth. What a waste. All right, here we go.
So nice. So watch my head in particular. Now I'm admitting it. So embarrassing.
Here we go.
Yep, nice.
Bang.
And my head. Bam.
Bang.
Boom.
Gang.
Right there. Right there.
Oh.
Did you see the head?
Yeah, dude.
Did you
Ouch.
see my head stop short on something?
Yeah.
That's my teeth.
He's good.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm underwater going, do I have teeth?
Anyway.
Then I look back
Wow.
up. I look back up for the painful moment of how many people are watching.
Everyone.
And they're laughing their ass off.
Everyone. Okay, so we were at Roaring River and part of the KISS expedition team for 2 days. This was day one. Again, I didn't get to dive a whole lot on day one. You got to dive, and it was fun, except, Randall's emergency you had to deal with. But then we had day two. And day two, I got to dive that day. And that also was my scariest dive ever for a different reason,
Rightfully so, based on what you told me.
which we will get to on the next video. This is a 2-part series. This was day one. Next time on Dive Talk, we will look at dive 2 or
And-
day number 2.
And to even further promote Dive 2, now I go through the restriction again, and it's cave exploration on the other side of it day. I'm laying line in a place that no man or light had ever seen before. That's my first time doing that. Plus, there are habitats that we had to
Yep.
deco in. Some special moments inside those habitats. I'd never been in one, and you want to see all of this.
We will take a look.
I'm your issue you handled well, but that was very scary
Absolutely.
to hear about it. That one could have been
Could have been the last
Could
one.
have been a good nighter.
For sure. And we would have gone viral if that was the case, too. So 2 opportunities were missed. Anyway.
Are they the same color still?
Probably not. Probably not.
If
But
I didn't have my Invisalign in, by the way, because I was wearing Invisalign while I was
Goner?
diving, they're gone. I have no teeth.
the expedition at Roaring River happened the day after our trip to Bonterra Mine, which was our last video. And in case you didn't check that out, I'm going to leave it right here. You guys check that out. It was so much fun at the mine.
Yes.
And it's funny because afterwards we were like, mine feels like a month ago.
I
Right?
know. We did so much in between.
We'll see you on part 2.
Bye, everyone.